Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Ride 4. We are here in the Canadian Tyre Grand Prix as part of the Superbike Final League, and I can tell you I've been very much looking forward to this because we're going to be using the KTM on a magnificent track, and it's going to be a 14-lap race, so this should be good. And of course this track is actually relatively decent for AI difficulty. The races actually seem somewhat more entertaining and more competitive, if you will. So I've been really looking forward to this, but I'm still going to take it easy for the first couple of laps to make sure the AI's got some sort of advantage, and then we can start fighting and battling towards the death. But starting from so far back on the grid, and with a track that you can't just overtake out of your will or leisure, you're going to try and take your time and try and pick them off. Of course, maybe go for those choreographed moves that I'll tend to use, like, you know, the favourite braking zones and my hot spots for overtaking, and use what skills we have to get through. But I did notice that this bike is not very quick on the straights compared to the other bike, so we do already have a slight disadvantage. But as we can see, we got Felix Bishop ahead of us, ready for the S's. Of course, cast your minds back to that magnificent move that I pulled off in turn 9 of the S's last time. That was quite a while ago, but it's still one of my favourite moments of Ride 4. It was one of those moments that the second I did it, I was eager to record and send it straight to YouTube so you guys could see it. And of course, on the rear of Felix Bishop, another KTM rider. I'm going to try and let Felix get a little bit further ahead, and we'll try and make a move where we can. This corner you can actually use quite a lot of throttle within reason. Obviously not too aggressive because you will crash, but we are going to go around the outside of Mr. Bishop, and we will take 11th place, so the movement's already has started as Felix is trying to fight back. Bishop cannot stop the momentum of DrAce. As you can see, Osvaldo Pavon ahead of us, and we're going to make another lunge in front of another KTM rider, looking like Miguel Oliveira embarrassing Brad Binder and Paul Espargaro. Now George Adams, the British rider, he's ahead. He's 9th place for now, but he's going to get a lot of speed to boost past the Canadian of Jessica Reynolds. Good stuff there. And now we have Reynolds in our sight. We're feeling the pressure now because the gap to the person in first place, which is Kirsten Malwitz, is about 5 seconds. We don't want it to get too far ahead because, of course, there is only 12 more laps remaining. We don't want to be leaving it too short. So we'll see what we can do. Jessica Reynolds, have my 10th place, and I will take your 9th place. I think that's a fair trade. So now we will attack the Brazilian, Ricardo Quadros. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right yet. I say this every time, so I'm just going to go with it. Quadros ahead of us. Careful not to touch the grass there. You do get a penalty if you're not careful. I found that out the hard way just the race before, and ultimately I restarted because I just didn't like having that penalty right there for another 10 laps. So with Ricardo ahead of us, we are going to line him up for my favourite overtaking point here in Canadian Tyre Grand Prix. Thank you very much. So we run a little bit deep there, but it's okay. We do have a train ahead of us. George Adams, the back of that train. Of course, we know he has a lot of speed, and he's already using it to his advantage to try and make another position up. That will leave us with Lars ahead of us. The German, Bratzorf. We are a little bit quicker compared to our previous lap time, which was of course our best. It was the second lap. But on this third lap here, I'm guessing we're going to better the 1:16.8414. But how much by that remains unknown. And we'll see in a moment when we cross the line. We do improve by about 0.5 of a second, so pretty good stuff. As Kirsten Malwitz leads from Yoke Fujikawa, Carlos Diaz. They are your podium sitters for now, and the gap has actually increased to 5.5 seconds now to Kirsten Malwitz. We might be leaving this a little bit too late if we're not careful. Of course, going for the one rider overtake per lap. I like doing it that way. He usually leaves it more interesting and more entertaining to fight our way back, because the comeback is essentially on already. There's George Adams. He's also had a fantastic start to this Grand Prix. We're going to be following our compatriot. Oh, a little bit too wide there on the rumble strip. So the problem when you get sort of held up on those rumble strips, you do lose a lot of speed and momentum. So we do lose quite a few tenths now, and this gap to George Adams is about a second now. just from losing that momentum and of course the lack of speed on the straight. But we are 7/10ths quicker than our fastest lap just a moment ago. Tackling the S's for the 4th time. Pretty good stuff so far. Flick it right for turn 10, white. And then across the finish line to indicate the 5th lap of 14. So another bit of a mistake there. Gives me my first amount of penalty, which I'm not too impressed by, but got no one to blame but myself. So there it is. A smack on the wrist for myself. And learned not to do that again. That's the best thing about... The best part about racing is learning to do things and learning what not to do. It's all a learning process, even for us gamers who are just playing the game. It's still a learning process for us all. And of course we're all enjoying it as George Adams is going to be the next on the hit list. Oh, kinda. To be fair to George, he made the right decision there. He lifted up, but he had the right of way. I wouldn't have minded if he tried to fight me back there. But major respect to Mr. Adams, he decided to let me go. He probably would be able to have the speed to get into the rear of DrAce and get past, but he chooses not to. And I am quite good on the brakes here towards the S's. Using the braking power of the KTM. I must say this KTM has fantastic stability. A little bit of a slide there, but that's only because I'm pushing it to the absolute limit. Well, maybe. I think it might be at this point when it got to about 6 seconds. I did begin to think, uh-oh, I think I've left this a bit too late. And to be fair, I think I have left it too late. It's 6 seconds now to Malwitz. And Carlos Diaz, he's obviously out of the podium position for now, and he really wants to get back at the South African. Well, he hasn't made the move yet, or at least he can't seem to get there. But, oh, big mistake into Quebec. Got to concentrate here, no more mistakes like that. It's Charlie Roux. He actually started in about 10th place or 11th place on the grid, and yet he's made it work. He's up at the podium, and that is another brilliant move on Diaz. So thank you very much. Oh, Diaz fights back. Dios mio! Good stuff. But it's okay. We still have the speed. We still have the inside line. We can continue to fight our way at 12 minutes past 4, 28 degrees here in Canada. So using the speed of the KTM, we're going to be pushing it to its absolute limit to try and catch up to Charlie Roux. I'm guessing that's a silent Z for the South African. It might be Charlize Roux. I don't know. Charlie will do. Old Charles. Charles Roux. Just noticed a weird glitch then with the shadow on the exhaust. I don't know if you noticed that too. But wow, great lap there. 1:15.096. We go around the outside of Roux. Now it's going to be going for it. So this is going to be our... This is the telling point, isn't it? This is the key moment to this Grand Prix. Can we catch up to Fujikawa and Malwitz? It's about a 5-second gap to Malwitz, and then just less than 2 seconds to Fujikawa, the Japanese rider who's occupying 2nd place. Of course, we want to be there, and we want to be going further ahead. So as you can see, you're using a lot of speed and a tighter line there. Really helps you close in for turn 5. So then hold it right for turn 6, which is Moss continued. I don't mean Moss from the IT crowd, I mean Moss as in the corner Moss. Shout out to anyone who gets that reference. But we still need to be thrashing it now because we're about 50% of this Grand Prix complete. And we have 5 seconds to catch up, so it's around about 6 or 7 tenths of a second we need to be quicker per lap to make sure we can catch up to Kirsten Malwitz. So approaching the final corner now of turn 10 white. Good stuff there. I've learned towards the end of the race, it's taken me about 7 laps, that taking a bit of a wider line into that final corner will help you with better exit and better entry speed for the next couple of corners. Something to bear in mind as we hold it left now for Clayton, turn 2. Can be aiming for that patch of grass there, not hitting it, but of course going relatively close to it. And then learning to brake gradually and gently into Quebec. That saved me a lot of time by doing that. And of course now the gap to Kirsten Malwitz is 4 seconds, so we are closing in quite rapidly onto both Fujikawa and Malwitz. This is going to be an excellent comeback if we can make it work. It's Fujikawa. Slow there into Moss. We're going to be quick, but we are going to use the rumble strip to try and guide us around that corner. Not the best of moves because we did lose a bit of momentum. Of course, with this KTM not being the quickest. So not the best idea, truth be told. As we now hold it right for the S's, 0.2 of a second quicker than our fastest lap, which was the 1:14.974. Pretty good lap. We'll continue to hold it so we can flick it right now. A little bit too early for my liking. I probably should have gone a little bit later, but it's fine because we are in the sights of Fujikawa. Fujikawa knows we're coming as we set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix once more. So going around the outside of Fujikawa, we're going to try and get through on the Honda as quickly as possible, which we do. We'll take a good defensive posture in the middle of the track so Fujikawa cannot strike back. Now it's ballsy stuff now. 3 seconds it is to Kirsten Malwitz, who is halfway up the track. He is a good whack faster than we were to start off this Grand Prix. Of course we were trying to take it relatively steady, and of course we did get held up a few times by a lot of the slower riders. But as you can see, the puffs of smoke, that is the 2-stroke bike of the Suter. So it does make a lot of sense that we are far behind him, because that Suter is extremely quick, and it really made me realise during this Grand Prix what we're going to be up against. We need to get this guy on the brakes. We need to take advantage of every corner speed we can and try and limit the damage for the straights. But pushing as hard as possible, that's what I enjoy the most. What I do find I struggle with in these races, especially when it comes to leading the Grand Prix or just generally trying to churn out fast lap times, I do struggle with consistency, where I do tend to like drift off, or my concentration will just sort of dwindle for a second. When I was chasing Kirsten Malwitz, that didn't happen. I've never been as focused on Ride 4 probably since I started to try and improve my lap times. I think we all started like the Donington world record, and then again for the Kawasaki world record in Ollerton Park. Those are like the key moments of concentration, and I think being back here in the Canadian Tyre Grand Prix, chasing down a very quick Kirsten Malwitz, felt exactly the same. It felt terrific, it really did. Reminding me why I have a YouTube channel which is pretty much dedicated to bike racing games. I really enjoyed this. I can't tell you how much I did, because it was phenomenal. I loved it. Every second of this Grand Prix was just awesome stuff. As we are ever so slightly closing in each and every lap to the German rider. And as you can feel yourself getting closer and closer, you have the bit between your teeth and you're just eager to keep going, and you just keep wanting to keep going and going and going. Terrific stuff, honestly. Really enjoyed this one. So, with less than 2 seconds remaining, we might not be able to celebrate already, because we're not there yet, and we're closing in. We're not closing in quick enough, I don't believe. We need to make more ground here, so we're going to run a little bit deep into Quebec. It's quite okay though, because we can still fire it out. Actually, relatively decent exit because of the nature of that corner. And then we'll flick it left. We're only 0.2 slower than our fastest lap of a 1:14.714. But we are closing in ever so quick. This is eerily reminiscent of Valentino Rossi chasing down Marc Marquez in Argentina 2015. Terrific race, terrific result. Can we replicate that here on board the KTM? DrAce playing the role of Rossi and Kirsten Malwitz playing the role of Marquez. And wow, here we are closing in now. The bit is well and truly between the teeth. It's 38% on the rear tyre for the degradation, so I think we're doing okay. This is both hard front and hard rear, so it shows you how hard we are pushing. Excuse the pun. As we now enter turn 1 for the 12th time of asking, could we finally get close enough, or are we going to need one more lap? Could very well be the penultimate lap we try and get close enough to Kirsten Malwitz. We tackle turn 2 for Clayton. Very good so far. Holding it right now, but gently braking into Quebec. Getting closer every point, every moment. As he fires a bit of smoke into my face, that's not going to deter us. Keep pushing, 15,000 per second slower than our fastest lap. Malwitz is feeling the pressure. You guys are on the edge of your seat. I'm on the edge of my seat because I know how great this race is. It's coming. Oh, is it ever coming? But we are going to lose a little bit of time here on the straight. We need to get in the slipstream and take advantage of the additional speed that we will carry. But it's still not going to be enough because Malwitz on that Suter is just absolutely impeccable. Impervious riding from the German. But we are now just 0.2 of a second quicker than our fastest lap. We're closing in all the time. Do I go for the move? Oh, I definitely thought about it. Believe you me, I thought about it. Going for the wider line here to then line Malwitz up. To then go into attack in the straight. Turn 1, it's not going to be able to go here. Not my fastest lap of the race with a 57th of a second off. 57,000th of a second off is what I was trying to say. They're just so eager to try and get this overtake done. It's trying to find the moment. It's difficult. Catching them up is one thing, but then overtaking a very fast rider is another thing. As we try and go around the outside of the Suter. Kirsten Malwitz, DrAce, battle for victory. Fujikawa was about 3 seconds up the road, so we don't, well, behind the road, so we don't need to worry about him. It's a battle for the victory. It's going to be a lunge. Oh, not quite. Kirsten Malwitz shuts the metaphorical door in my face. It's not going to be enough. We need to really go for it now. There's only a few more overtaking hotspots remaining. I might be able to conjure something up again, but we'll soon find out, won't we? A little bit of a wheelie there, but it's still good. We're going to be alright. 0.2 of a second away. Coming around the outside into the S's for the penultimate time. We're going around the outside. We've done him. Brilliant stuff. DrAce in the lead. Now braking gently for the final. Got a contact. No way. Kirsten Malwitz. What have you just done? Oh, unbelievable. I'm going to have to try and make a lunge into turn 1. Braking, brake, contact. Oh my god. Oh, what? Malwitz down. Fujikawa leads. What? Fujikawa's up by a whole second. We're going to do the whole thing again. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Yoko Fujikawa was happy in a 3rd place position, but is now gifted a 1st place. We're going to have to close him down. Fujikawa, you cannot pinch that off me after working so hard. We're going to have to get him. Oh, look how well we closed in on Fujikawa. Fujikawa, do not defend against me because it's inevitable. I will take the 1st place back. Oh, wow. I mean, that overtake on... I don't know what happened with Kirsten Malwitz. Aggression from both sides. It's exactly like the Rossi and Marquez moment. We're going to go round the outside here at the S's. The Honda man's going to fight back. He's going to slam the door, but we're going to be ahead of him. Yes! We're through, but check quickly behind to make sure he doesn't kamikaze me like, like Malwitz did. But it's okay. We're going to take a magnificent victory in a terrific Grand Prix on board the KTM 1190. Wow. What a Grand Prix. Guys, if you enjoyed that one as much as me, please like, comment, subscribe. But I really hope you did enjoy that because that was a fantastic Grand Prix. Really, really great race. So thanks as always for watching. I really appreciate you checking out my content. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Ciao for now.